Hello friends, how are you? It's been so long that I haven't, posted any video on the channel. So from now onwards, I'm going to post regular videos from Monday to Friday. And also I'm going to introduce many things which will help you to speak well in English and which will give you the confidence to speak good English. So today I have picked up uh, a book, another book. I think you have seen my other videos, and I have been, sharing stories, reading out stories on the famous five. So today also we'll look at another, chapter in the famous five. Okay, by Miss Mr. Blyton. Okay, Emid Blyton, and it says five go to mystery more. Okay, let's see what it has. So, the book has the contents. So, we have totally 21 chapters. So, let's go through each chapter. So, if I go to Mystery More by Enid Blyton. Okay, I thought it's Emmett. It's Enid Blyton. All right. So, the first one is At the Stables. All right, let's look at this. So, let's go slow. Let's learn whatever we're learning, let's learn it in the right way so that you're understanding how to read uh, sentences, how to focus on grammar, on words. And if you have any doubts and if you do not understand, please leave a comment and I will definitely answer your questions. Okay, let's get started off. At the stables. We've been here a week. And I've been bored every single minute, said George. You haven't, said Annie. You've enjoyed all the rides we have had. So if you see this apostrophe and VE, so two words have been blended or two words are joined. So we and have. Alright. So we have had and you have. See the same way. Two words have been added. This is the one whole word and this is half of another word, have. Okay, here's the same thing, here also same thing. So you can write it this way also, or else you can write you and the full word HAVE, have. Alright, let's move on. Enjoyed messing around in the stables when we haven't been out riding. So see here also haven't, have not. Okay. I tell you, I have. Same thing. I have. So I've been bored every single minute, said George, quite fiercely. I should know, shouldn't I? That awful girl, Henrietta, too. Why do we have to put up with her? Oh, Henry, said Annie with a laugh. I would have thought you would find a lot in common with another girl like you, who'd rather be a boy and tries to act like one. The two girls were lying by a haystack eating sandwiches around them in a field where many horses, most of which the girls either rode or looked after. Some way off one was an old rambling building, and by the front entrance was a great board. Captain Johnson's riding school. Annie and George had been staying there for a week. When Juliana and Dick had gone to camp with other boys from their school. It had been Annie's idea. She was fond of horses and had heard so much from her friends at school about what fun it was to spend day after day at the stables that she had decided to go herself. George hadn't want, wanted to come. She was sulky because of the two boys had gone off somewhere without her and Annie for a change. Gone to camp. George would have liked that, but girls weren't allowed to go camping with the boys from Juliana's school. It was a camp just for the boys alone. You're silly to keep feeling cross because you couldn't go camping too, said Annie. The boys don't want us girls around them all the time. just give me a second. George thought differently. Why not? I can do and say anything that Dick and Juliana can do, she said. I can climb and bike for miles. I can walk as far as they can. I can swim. I can beat a whole lot of boys at most things. That's what Henry says, said Annie with a laugh. Look, there she is, striding about as usual, hands in her Jodhpur pockets, whistling like the stable boy. George scowled. Annie had been very amused to see how Henrietta and George hated one another at sight, and yet both had very much the same ideas. George's real name was Georgina, but she'd only answer to George. Henry's real name was Henrietta, but she'd only answer to Henry or Harry, to her very best friends. She was about as old as George, and her hair was too short too, but it wasn't curly. It's a pity yours is curly, she said to George pityingly. It looks so girlish, doesn't it? Don't be silly, George said curtly. Lots of boys have curly hair. The most annoying part was that Henrietta was a wonderful rider and had won all kinds of cups. George hadn't enjoyed herself at all during that week at the stables because for once another girl had outshone her. She couldn't bear to see Henrietta turning about, whistling, doing everything so competently and quickly. Annie had had many a quiet laugh to herself, especially when the two girls had each made up their minds not to call one another Henry and George, but to use their full names, Henrietta and Georgina. This meant that neither of them would answer the other when called, and Captain Johnson, the big burly owner of the riding stables, got very tired of both of them. So we'll stop here. So we have read, almost 2.5 pages. So I want you all to go through whatever I went through. Read along with me, and practice will help you all to start speaking confidently. And also, if you have any ideas or if you want me to pick up another book, anything like that, please let me know in the comment section. So take care. I'll see you tomorrow.